Hi, and welcome to Real Clear Fetish Revisited, a side podcast I'm doing in connection to the other one I'm doing because I don't have enough to do. And I'm inviting guests from season 1 to 5 back and just to see where they're at in life. And this week I have RJ with me. Hi, RJ.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
You're
Yeah,
just slightly tied up at the moment.
slightly tied up. Yeah, it's a comfortable start to the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone just listening, RJ is in a leather straitjacket right now, which has tickled me at no end when he came on to the Zoom call.
Something different.
Oh, no, I'm
It
all for it. I'm
it's
all
been
for it.
ages since I've been in it, and I was looking at what to wear today, and I was like, you know what? I don't think anyone's ever done one of your podcast episodes like whilst being restrained. So I was like, let's do that. And also, what a good reason to wear this.
Oh, absolutely. You should not really have an excuse. You should just wear it.
Plus, I don't have to put the heating on because this is keeping me plenty warm.
I could imagine. I could imagine. So, with every episode, I do 6 standard questions, and it's just a nice little update of where you're at. Your episode was in season 2, and you were episode 4, I think, which was in March of 2021, so 4 years ago.
Was that COVID? That was
And we were still in COVID, yes. A lot of
wow.
my interviews have the same theme because we were all still a bit in COVID at the time. This was also when I was trying. We were doing the conversation on Zoom, but I got you to record yourself with your own phone, and I recorded with my phone to make the picture quality better.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I had my phone
Yeah,
set up on a probably on a cardboard
it
box.
it was a very complicated season. Let's say like that, technically wise. This works a lot better, and to be honest, Zoom quality has become a lot better.
Yeah.
So it's acceptable quality. It's definitely better than Instagram Live.
Yes. Oh, the death of Instagram Live.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the first question is, can you give a little quick introduction to yourself in case someone hadn't watched your episode?
So yeah, my name's RJ, also known as Kingster for Life. I am actually probably one of the few Kingsters out there that's in a closed relationship with someone who's not very kinky. So although I wear gear on a regular, in fact, daily basis, my partner's not kinky at all. And when we play just together. So a lot of the kink scene is quite open, and a lot of guys find it's easy to explore different kinks through meeting other guys. Whereas I don't have that, but I still am able to enjoy a full kinky life and embrace my fetishes and use them in my everyday life.
Well, he put you in the straitjacket for this interview.
He did, yeah. He was, for him, it's just like, okay, you're going to be wearing that today. Like, I came down the other night in like my full bike suit to cook dinner, and it was just like, oh, that's what you're wearing tonight. Okay, standard.
Well, that I love that. I love that. That's absolutely amazing. So, since your episode, what has been the most challenging thing in your life and how did you overcome it?
I think the most challenging thing kink-wise in my life has been trying to get out there still. Events, as great as they are still quite restrictive for people that go to them for the social aspect. And I find that's really challenging because you want to go to things like Fetish Week and you want to go to events like this, but then you find it's mainly, you know, these amazing spaces that are designed for play and play alone. It'd be nice to go to Fetish Week and have the music be music you can dance to rather than music you just want to have sex to, and just be enjoy a bit more of a social aspect. And I think that's the biggest challenge is trying to get your headspace into that. But I'm going to an event. Yeah, I might meet some people, but you need to expect that the majority of the events are going to be just for play. And I think I recently done Sneaks Weekend, and that was a really good example of social because a lot of the events, yeah, they had the playrooms and stuff, but you had like the last day was like a quiz and bingo, and it was just chaos, and it was just fun because it wasn't about going there necessarily to do anything. It was just go there, be together. Here's some games, here's some drinks, here's some food, and actually meet people. And I really enjoyed that.
I do find like at least the older I get, the social aspect is more important to me than copping off in the dark room.
Yeah.
Not that I would be
Oh
against
no.
that if it's a really hot guy, but it's I feel like connection is more important to me. And if I end up having some kinky play, great. But for me, like you say, we had a raffle when I went to Manchester Leather Weekend, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed that more than anything that weekend, really.
And I have no objection to it. I agree that these these events are for that. I just think there needs to be that balance. And I think that's why one of the events I really want to get to is the Manchester Rubber Weekend. So a
Mm.
lot of people have said that's great because you've got that element of play, but then the most of it is about social. They've got like the gear tunes, they've got like the drag bingo, and they've got all that, and it sounds like a really fun weekend to get to. So I think that's one of the ones I'm going to try and hopefully attend next year if I can. I think my dad's birthday is that weekend, so we'll see. We'll see how that explanation goes.
Dad, I need to go and be social.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. You have to have a social life. So, since your episode, what has been the most joyous since then?
I think the most joyous thing has been, I think I lost my account, my old Instagram account, since that episode. I think the joy has been kind of rebuilding it in a way that I want it to. When I started my first Instagram account, it was about me kind of getting out there and making as much noise as possible, I think, and being like, look at me, this is me, I'm learning everything. Yay, great. And this new account's been great because I've kind of come back and I've been able to. I don't want to. It's not felt like a job. I think when you first start Instagram on like the kink scene, you feel like it's a job because you feel like you've got to try and make pictures, make the videos, make yourself out there to try and be known so that when you do go to an event or something, people recognize you and you won't feel like a loner. Whereas now, a lot of people that have followed me know my old account. They've known the old stuff I've done. And I feel like I'm able just to go out there and be like, okay, this is me doing what I'm doing in my regular life. If you like it, it's great. If not, okay, I've got a good connection of friends, and that's been one of the most joyous things is, I've been able to build a really nice connection, a really good group of friends that I see all over the world. And I chat to on a regular basis. And yeah, it's been nice to feel that sense of companionship. And also the friends I've made and the friends I've met have been really accepting of my circumstances. Like none of them have ever felt, like I'm pressured to do anything that I don't want to do.
Yeah, Instagram are assholes when it comes to blocking accounts. I've had my run through with that. I'm lucky enough I got to keep my account. I think I would have been very sad if I completely lost it because there's so much historical stuff on there in connection with the podcast and all that. But yeah, Instagram needs to sort that shit out.
Even recently, the new rule with the lives, like I don't understand how now you can only go live if you're public and you have 1,000 followers. How restrictive is that? What's the point of having that feature, and then saying to them, oh no, you can't do that because you're not popular enough, or you're not public enough. Sometimes people
They've copied that function from TikTok. TikTok has the same.
it's just horrible though, because it's just you're, taking a restriction, but another, I wouldn't someone might not use TikTok because of that restriction. And now they've gone to Instagram and Instagram are copying that, but rather than being open, they're closing themselves off more. And it's just,
Sometimes I feel like Instagram is a necessary evil in a lot of aspects. It connects a lot of people, but the amount of we have to jump through hoops with them constantly.
yeah,
Oh, this is too sexual, and then you have a profile that pops up with someone who have almost completely naked, but because they're a woman, they're fine. I don't
yeah.
know.
A woman and they're selling something that Instagram can charge them marketing
Monetize,
for, then
yeah.
that's fine. But if it's a guy, I think what was worse, I think my friend Mikey put up pictures from Sneaks Weekend recently. Pretty much the same pictures I put up on a post, and his post got taken down for sexual content. And the picture that flagged up was literally four of us in a gay bar, fully in tracksuits. And it's like, literally a picture from a professional photographer in a bar. There was no skin that was extra on show. There was no one was doing anything rude. And it's like, wow. And even when he questioned it, they were like, no, this goes against our community guidelines. It's like, but there's a post of some girls out in Ibiza wearing hardly anything, getting pissed. That's fine.
Of course, they're allowed to do all that. No restriction on what how you should present yourself. But there is a disconnect between what the AI with Instagram does. It's just not clever enough, or it just feels like overtly it targets gay content
Yeah, it does
as
feel very,
being problematic, and there is a massive disconnect. There's no pictures on my profile where I am advertently naked. I am wearing clothes all the time. I Do I have any pictures where I'm bare chest? Probably very, very few,
Yeah,
and I just kept getting blocked. So yeah, Instagram is problematic on some accounts. Yeah.
like you said, necessary evil.
Necessary evil. Like we just have to think about the connections we make on there, which is amazing.
That's the
Um,
thing to focus on.
yeah, absolutely. What do you think we should champion more than ever at the moment?
I think more than ever, the championship of inclusivity needs to be like focused on more. I get very fed up and very tired of a lot of these kink companies and these kink shops that focus on models and even events. Like you're doing an event for a poster and it is the same type of model. If it's real these days, most of the days it's AI. Where it is a guy that's got a six pack, a smooth body, muscles, in the gear. You don't get anyone really of different cultures or different orientations. You don't get anything like that. It's the same guys modeling this gear, the same guys promoting the events, and it's always the ones that are popular. If there's
Mm,
a gym bod guy that, always wears rubber because it makes his muscles pop, he's the guy that's going to get asked to do the poster, not the new person on Instagram who's trying to find himself in the scene, who has only a little bit of gear, but wants to be a part of it. Why can't he be on that poster as well? Why can't he be invited, to represent that event? Instead, it's these guys that are, you've got 10,000 followers. If we get you to do our photo shoot for our event, you're going to spread our event further, which, monetizing makes sense. But they're not the only ones that wear the gear. You get websites that go, we're selling this rubber tracksuit, now I've got sizes up to 4XL. Great. Well, maybe you should have a model that is 3 or 4XL
mm,
wearing that tracksuit to show what it looks like, because seeing it on a skinny twink, that person who is 4XL, who wants to feel good and wants to look good and will look good in your gear, can't picture themselves in it because all they're seeing is, 19-year-old typical French twink that they see on every other profile, wearing the gear. They don't see themselves in it. And I think that's something that's really horrible. Regulation is one of the biggest ones for this, and it annoys me to no end. Regulation are one of these companies that put up posts going, show us what you've got in your gear, show us your unboxing, show us this, show us your that. You will tag them in stuff, you will send them stuff. And if your profile is not public or popular, they won't share it. And it's, they won't, allow the post that's tagged on their profile, which makes nothing to them. But that little bit of recognition makes that person feel valued as a customer. But instead, it's these guys that are like already popular, already public, happy to do all that, but get that recognition, get that promotion. And I think it's just, it's wrong because it isolates a lot of the community that want to be a part of it. And that's why when you go to these events, you'll see a lot of lack of diversity, a lot of lack of shapes of guys because it's not, they don't feel welcome because they
mm.
don't see themselves in any of the gear or any of the promotions to associate themselves with part of that scene.
It is a problem, absolutely.
Look at the new bike suit from Twin X they've just done. That £600 bike suit. It's outpriced for anyone there, but again, the models are just there purely for the sake of a six pack and a body. But then they're doing advertising it as sizes up to, 56, 58. It's great, it's massive sizes, but where is the bigger guy wearing that suit? Why can't he feel like he has to buy it? And then you'll notice that they won't make them sizes anymore because they'll see that all they've got left in their stocks is the double XLs and the triple XLs. And they'll go, oh, well, no point making them because no one buys them. Well, no one buys them because they don't feel that they're the right person to wear that gear.
No, I fully agree with you. And if we sat down and made a list of certain models that get used in a lot of different campaigns, we would probably make a list of repeat offenders. And this is no shade to the people who are in the ads.
No.
They're
But
doing a paid
there are
job.
guys that do they go to the job, they go to the gym, they work out. That is their career, that is their life.
Yeah.
100% accept that. But I think that companies also, as well as using them, need to look at the bigger guys, the guys with different cultures, backgrounds. Because there are a lot of people in our community and a lot of kinksters that don't fit that ideal profile, but look beautiful and fascinating in their gear. And
Mm.
it's wrong that they don't feel like they can be included because of it.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. And it is, well, also talking about AI, it's also a massive problem because you're taking jobs away from artists that can
Yeah.
do the graphics for you. And as soon as I see someone do a poster with AI, Oh, it's like you're taking the job away from a talented artist, and there's so many queer artists now that can do amazing posters and all sorts. Just pay them for fuck's sake.
Well, I think Grip, the Scally event that launched in London, that's was run by the same guys that run Hunter.
It is,
And
yes.
again, they started out and their posters for their first couple of events were all AI. And it's like, how hard would it have been? You've got your whole clientele from Hunter. Like how hard it would have been to have gone, look, we're going to be launching a Scally event. We're looking for guys that are into Scally gear. Would you want to come along and model for our poster? Again, you've got people that go to your events. Use them. Use your community that you've got to promote that event. But instead, you've just gone AI design poster with Scally lad on for event. And
Yeah.
immediately, because I saw it, and immediately people were like, "Oh, you're going to this event, it's new trackies event." And I'm like, no, because I don't feel that they've bothered to put the effort in to try and include real
Mhm.
people. What have they done for their event? If you can't do something as basic as that, then what does that say about the rest of your views and the rest of your culture?
Absolutely, absolutely. I fully agree.
I feel like I'm just bitching about all these companies now, and
Oh,
there we go. I'm
it's
going to be
fine.
unfollowed by so many people.
I will if anyone's listening and viewing this, just send it to these companies this episode, then they might change their ways.
The thing is, I don't think they will because it doesn't stop them making money at the end of the day. Like,
I think it's important we talk about stuff like this. Of course, this is not meant to like companies are companies and organizers are organizers, but if they don't hear it from like us talking about it here or people posting about it and so on, things won't change.
no.
And sometimes it's like regulation's still a good shop.
Oh yeah,
Hunter
100%.
and
Like the
Grip are
staff that
good
work there
events.
and the service they offer is amazing. Like I won't stop shopping there because I think the gear they make is nice. I'm actually wearing their leggings and their toe socks today. I think the stuff they make is nice and I enjoy going shopping there. I think it's a really nice shop. I just think that sometimes you
Do
just
better.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what's disappointing is when you can see a company that makes good stuff and you're just like, just do better. Just,
Just
just
add that extra effort.
that's all it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. Question five. What new gear have you poured your love over since your episode?
God, that was 2 years ago. How long have you got?
Is there anything that jumps to mind? It's like, oh, I'm so glad I bought that.
The thing is, my gear tastes vary on a regular basis. Like you'll just need to look at my profile to see that my posts jump from rubber to leather to this to that. Well, I think I was wearing my rubber tracksuit when I done my first thing. That's
You
still
did,
one of
yeah,
my
yeah.
great loves. I really like the Nike reflective set I got. I'm really glad I bought that. It was very expensive, but it's amazing and it looks great. Leather wise, I don't know if I had my leather bike jeans when I saw you. My leather bike suit, really nice as well. My silver North Face silver bib and brace, like I got that from a friend recently. That's one of my favorite things to wear because it's just really comfy. When you start thinking about all the gear you got and you're
I was
like, I really
like,
like that, and I really like
uh,
that, and I really like that. This is the thing, because I don't, it's one of the questions I get asked when I do like a question thing on Instagram is what's your favorite bit of gear? And because I've got such a wide taste of gear, it's it's hard for me to do it. I've got
like
a
it's like
reflective like
it's like
PVC suit, which I really like.
it's like picking your favorite child.
Yeah, and it really does depend on the mood I'm in, and I will always mix different gear types. Like this week, I think I've spent a night in a sauna suit. I've spent a night in leather. I've spent a night in like nylon. It's very much, how do I feel today? Even today I'm in a mix of rubber, shiny nylon, and now leather. I don't really have a specific thing. It's just kind of whatever comes to mind.
Amazing. And the last question, any new kinks you've unlocked since your episode?
Really? No, I mean, I've always been quite open with my kinks and quite varied with them. I think the hard part is exploring my kinks with my boundaries. So there are a lot of kinks I think, oh yeah, that sounds hot, but it's like, couldn't really do that because I'm not going to be able to explore that fully. But no, I think it's been nice. I've had a lot more time like meeting people. I've had a few days where I've been able to like wear other people's gear, which is great. It's one of my major things. It's like having a guy go, here's my tracksuit, you're going to wear that for today. And it's like, yes. Uh, but no, I can't think of any like new stuff that's really like I've unlocked or I've experienced as such. I think it's more been about just being comfortable myself, exploring my gears, and trying to go to events and just meet people that I chat to. I think that's one of my main things I'm trying to focus on, and just be, oh God, I don't want to say a good influencer because that's horrible, but a good, no, not a, I want to be someone in the community where people can talk to me. I think there are so many profiles out there these days where you get these kinksters that, have following and, everyone feels like they're scared to talk to them. I don't ever want anyone to do that. I don't want anyone ever to feel like I can't talk to that person because they look so popular or they look like this, I can't approach them. I want to be that kind of person where someone will message me, they will get a reply. If they need help, I will, help them as much as possible. I just want to be a force of good.
Fantastic. And there's a really nice little anecdote to end on. Thank you very much for doing this, RJ, and
Thank you.
indulging my little revisit with you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on. And that was this week's episode with RJ. It's been really lovely just to have a little chat with him and looking at him whilst he struggles in his straitjacket. It's been a joy. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time for another little bite-sized episode. Bye.